have an announcement to make.
You're gonna do something with your name.
That's kind of been this discussion. Do I keep Kody's name?
Introducing Meri.
I was just watching the latest episode where Kody and Robyn went out to dinner like they're rare creatures being released into the wild. Apparently, they never get to go anywhere because, their lives are just so busy. Robyn mentioned that her older daughters are tied up with college, bedtime, and dinner. But here's the thing. Which bedtime are we talking about? Is she referring to Saul and Aries' bedtime? Or is she claiming her older daughters, who are, like 20, are too busy with dinner and bedtime to do anything else? I mean, it's odd to picture a 20-year-old struggling with bedtime. I'm betting they've never had real jobs. Got to preserve that precious workforce purity. Robyn's always needed help putting her little ones to bed, which is why Kody always had to be home for his kids' bedtime. She clearly couldn't handle it alone. Let's be real though, she probably never did it herself. And now that those little kids are older, she's passed that off to someone else. But yeah, that's Robyn's idea of busy. It's kind of chill when 3 of your kids are adults with no jobs, no hobbies, and a nanny on speed dial. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Robyn, master of the art of I'm too tired for that, all while sitting back and expecting the world to move for her. Remember that time when Janelle wanted to run a 5K, and Robyn's excuse for sitting it out was that her back hurt. Funny how that same back didn't seem to hurt when she bailed on a therapy session with the OG3 and Noodlehead, claiming she was feeling sick. Sure, Robyn, we're all buying that. But wait, there's more. Anyone care to add to her growing list of reasons for avoiding any real work? Like when she told Kody that she absolutely would not get pregnant again after Saul unless he eased up on her sister's closet workload. Guess it's just too much to ask her to lift a finger, huh? And let's not forget her infamous I'm too busy act. She's always so busy running around supervising, but the second something needs doing, it's like the OGs are her personal pit crew. Oh, and that charming moment when she suggested one of the other kids could have pitched in while she was prepping for her wedding, classic Robyn. I'm starting to think she wanted polygamy not for the relationship benefits, but for all the extra hands to do the heavy lifting. Lazy much. Sure, imagine if Robyn just came clean for once. What if she looked Kody in the eye and said, yeah, I demanded his time and attention. I wasn't going to end up like my mother, the mistress. I wanted it all for my kids. And if Kody didn't say no, then hey, that's on him. He just loved me more and wanted to be with me. Yeah, that'd be so refreshing. Would that make her more relatable? More redeemable? For me, though, it's the denial that's the real deal breaker. I've been rewatching, and honestly, the couch scenes are like watching a masterclass in manipulation. There are so many moments where she's giving Kody those little looks, the ones that say, this is our thing now. Since she joined, it's like it's been all about the two of them, and watching her destroy the family from the inside out. Oh, it's hard to stomach. The Crimea River routine is just the cherry on top. No, I can't forgive it. It wasn't just about her. It caused so much pain, especially for Meri and Christine. It was downright evil. She wasn't some innocent bystander here. She knew exactly what she was doing. Manipulation at its finest. And let's not forget the resources. Robyn took the lion's share, father time, money, all of it. I get that she wanted the best for her kids, but at what cost? The OG3 and OG13 were left to sacrifice their own needs just to keep her and her kids happy. Some of them might as well not even have a father at this point. Yeah, Kody's the biggest culprit here, but Robyn wasn't some clueless pawn in all of this. She either turned a blind eye or outright demanded it. Either way, it's unforgivable. Rewatching Season 13, Episode 11, Leaving Las Vegas, and I'm reminded just how much of a disaster this move to Flagstaff was. They were talking about it for months, like 5 months, and started packing a whole month in advance. So how is it that they managed to make such a mess of it? How do you move and have nothing ready? And seriously, how do you end up with 600 pounds of beef and completely full refrigerators? I get it, they buy whole cows to save money, but maybe don't do that if you're about to, move. It's like, anyone who's moved even just 10 miles knows you stop buying food and start eating your way through the freezer and pantry. Moving food, especially 4 hours away, is one of the dumbest things you can do. And 600 pounds of meat? What are they thinking? They also moved to a more expensive area, bought Coyote Pass, a money pit riddled with problems, rented 3 houses, and bought another one, before even putting any of their 4 Las Vegas homes up for sale. It took months to sell those places, and I think Christine's house took almost a whole year. This family is basically just throwing cash into a bonfire. Their financial choices are a disaster. And their moves, hell, even their vacations, are pure chaos. Meri's the only one who seems to have any idea of how to keep things on track. Meanwhile, Kody and the other 3, they just sit there whining about how stressful it is to move and go on vacations with 18 kids in tow. What's with all the Meri hate? I'm not exactly defending anyone here, but I'm just trying to figure out what all the fuss is about. I'm catching up on past seasons, and yeah, she's not the easiest person to get along with. But honestly, after dealing with Kody for 30 years, who wouldn't be a little bitter? Christine, on the other hand, is way more irritating, although maybe it's just that she's more talkative, and that's why people liked her more before this season. Not like I know these people personally, but based on what I'm watching, that's my read. No, Meri doesn't own Lularo, but she does sell it. And yes, that's the clothing business she's always bringing up with her bed and breakfast nonsense. I've always found it frustrating how Meri never speaks up. I've literally been yelling at my screen, wondering why she's staying so quiet in situations where I'd be losing my mind. But the more I watched, the more I realized, anything you say in this family is going to be used against you forever. I can't imagine living like that. Honestly, I can't even wrap my head around it. Meri drives me crazy because she's impossible to figure out. She has this way of talking in circles, never committing to a clear statement, then getting all defensive when people don't understand her. It's like she expects you to read her mind or something. At this point, I think it's all about the attention. She's so desperate for it that she'll stir up drama just to get people talking to her. Are we being punked here? I mean, I'm a few episodes behind, so I catch up through fan pages and online gossip. But at this point, I'm seriously starting to wonder if any of this is real. I've always been on Team Wives, agreeing with everyone that Robyn is the puppet master, pulling all the strings behind the scenes. But sometimes I just can't wrap my head around the fact that Meri, Christine, and Janelle just sit there, time and time again, letting Robyn take control. It's like they're trapped in some twisted version of the Stepford Wives. Seriously, they barely react. And don't even get me started on Janelle still calling Kody sweetheart or honey. What's happening there? Is TLC pulling some prank on us, or are the wives in on it? I can't for the life of me believe these women are letting this happen. Look, I'll admit there are plenty of things to love about the OG3, but Stepford is definitely not one of them, lol. If you watch this season, it's clear that the marriages are basically over. Robyn's whole storyline revolves around Kody trying to reconnect with his family, but we all know it's just another round of manipulation. Sure, there's conflict, but it's the same tired drama we've seen before. Now, I'm not Mormon, but I grew up in a super evangelical environment, and I can't help but wonder if some of this is tied to their religious beliefs. That whole idea of submitting to each other and treating one another a certain way. On camera, it looks like there's no way these women should be tolerating any of this, but maybe it's because they've been taught to put up with it for the sake of their faith. Like challenging Kody's behavior could have serious consequences in their religion. not just here on Earth, but in eternity. And trust me, I get it. I've been bulldozed, manipulated, and taken advantage of by people in the church, all in the name of being submissive and loving others like Christ would. It wasn't until I walked away from that mindset that I realized how low my standards were when it came to how I allowed others to treat me, how easy it was to stay in toxic situations and just let things slide because that's all I'd ever known. It's hard to break free from that, to question everything you've been taught and reconstruct your entire worldview. Now, I could be totally wrong here. I've only been following sister wives for a couple of years, so I don't know that much about their beliefs. Maybe I'm missing something. And yeah, Janelle and Kody were together for like 30 years, so I guess calling him sweetheart might just be habit by now. Hopefully that's a thing of the past. Which of Kody's adult children called him for Christmas? You know this narcissist isn't going to make the first move he expects them to call him. So who do you think actually picked up the phone yesterday? Honestly, I hope none of them did. Not that it would matter to him. He's already said they're just perks to him. Remember how he threatened to punch his own kids in the face if they brought up certain topics? What kind of parent does that? Threaten their own biological children on TV? The same parent who conveniently forgot about Isabel's surgery, didn't even know her age, and didn't bother to call Savannah or visit her over Christmas. Oh, and let's not forget how he wanted Janelle to kick 2 of her sons out onto the street during the pandemic. He didn't even remember his own son's birthday, yet he can recite the birthdays of every other kid in the family. Would you bother calling a parent like that on Christmas or any other day? Sure, some people might feel sentimental around the holidays, but I'm not holding my breath for any calls. For their own mental health, though, it's probably best they keep their distance. Kody and Robyn don't seem like they'll be changing anytime soon, if ever. I mean, sure, it's both of them who ruined the family, but let's be real here. It's mostly Robyn. I can see straight through her act. All that bend to my will, fall in line, submit to me, because I've got the goods nonsense, it's Robyn's playbook, and I'm pretty sure she had Kody wrapped around her finger from day one. She probably just had to flash a little skin, and bam, he's giving her whatever she wants. But convincing the other wives, that wasn't so easy. Instead of confronting them directly, she made sure Kody thought he was the one making the calls. After all, as the man, saying no would somehow mean he wasn't submitting to her, right? So he keeps spouting that line, all while conveniently leaving out the part where Robyn's the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. It's honestly kind of sad. I started watching this show when I was a teenager, maybe 15 or 16. Now, I'm not saying I'd ever go for a plural marriage, but the show made me think it could actually work with the right setup. I even started believing there could be benefits to it, if you had the right wives and the right guy. Personally, if I were ever into it, the guy would need to be rolling in cash, so no one had to work unless they wanted to. And no, I wouldn't have to be head over heels for him, but I'd need to be at least somewhat attracted to him. Oh, and I'd have to really trust and love my sister wives. I've got 5 kids, and honestly, there are days when I think having a sister wife would be a godsend, but let's be real, I'm way too jealous for that. At the start, Kody was actually different. I don't think he was faking it. He genuinely seemed like a goofy, happy dad who was trying to be fair to everyone. He sold the idea of plural marriage like he believed it himself, and for a while, maybe he did. I truly believe that if Robyn had never waltzed in, they'd still be together. But no, Kody wants to act like the kids are upset because he wasn't in love with their mothers. Oh please no, that's not it. They're mad because they spent their whole lives being sold this fantasy, only for Kody to turn around and say, "Just kidding. I found real love and intimacy with Robyn." Wow, shocking, right? And don't even get me started on his talk about intimacy with Robyn. It's like, seriously? You really needed to spell that out? Of course, you're going to feel more intimate when you focus all your time and energy on one person. It doesn't exactly take a genius to figure that one out. The way he treated Meri, though, that was next level dirty. You can see Robyn's hand in all of it with her comment about Meri. Meri isn't going to do anything she doesn't want to do. That idea is laughable. That's how she works. She makes it seem like whatever she wants is actually the other person's idea, then flips it around and plays the "oh, she's just so stubborn, there's nothing I can do" card. And then, when things go south, she plays the "Kody is the man, we all have to listen to him" card, only after she's gotten what she wants. It's manipulative, plain and simple. Robyn's whole thing is rooted in her childhood. Her mom was the other woman in a situation where her dad never chose her or her mom. So of course, she grew up desperate to be the one a man would leave his wife for. She couldn't get her dad to do it, so she set her sights on Kody, and well, here we are. The language, the submissive act she puts on, the way she says Kody is the man, like she's been forced into this submissive role, that's the game. She's playing it and she's winning, or so she thinks. It's honestly all pretty tragic. She might think she's got everything now, but what did she really win? Kody's a shell of the guy he once was. She hurt her own kids, who are all basically feral at this point, especially the younger ones. And what's left for her to hold on to? Money and material things. Eventually those will fade, and then what's left? Kody's so bitter and angry, he can't even keep his thoughts straight anymore. It's almost laughable if it weren't so sad. But let's not pretend this whole mess started with Robyn. Kody never had what it took to lead a polygamous family. Even he admits it. He was never equipped to be the head of this family, and it showed from the start. Yeah, maybe he loved his first wives, but let's be real. He didn't marry them for love. He married them because he wanted a plural marriage. And from the beginning, he was too overwhelmed to control the situation. Meanwhile, the wives each ran their own households and grumbled to him when it was their night. Enter Robyn, the one wife he actually wanted. She didn't need to fight for control like the others. She got it because he cared more about her than anyone else. He gave her all the power, and when that happened, the whole foundation of his family crumbled. So yeah, it was always Kody. Robyn just capitalized on the chaos he created. So who actually thinks Robyn and Kody will stick together? I'm leaning toward Kody trying a little harder to make it work, now that she's the only wife left. But honestly, I'm not sure how much longer that's going to last. What do you think? I'm betting they'll stay together, if for no other reason than spite and the paycheck. Honestly, I think Kody's got this weird obsession with Robyn. She loves it too. As long as the money keeps rolling in, she's all in. And even if it doesn't, she'll probably just make a Tinder profile and find another rich guy. Maybe she'll throw in a knife emoji for fun. Seriously though, I don't get why people think Robyn would leave Kody if the cash flow dried up. She'd just have Dayton get a real job and fund her lifestyle. And don't forget about her daughters. She'd make them marry well and have the sons-in-law pay for everything. Classic parent move, right? But why would any rich guy want Robyn? He could easily find a younger, prettier, less exhausting woman who doesn't come with 5 chaotic kids, 2 exes, and a reputation that's not exactly stellar. But hey, maybe Kody's the only one willing to put up with all that baggage. Honestly, I think she's already planning an exit strategy. She's probably got a whole file of documentation on Kody's erratic behavior, his sabotaging, instability, threats of violence. She's making sure her finances are locked down just in case she needs to leave. That might be why she's suddenly all about escorting her daughters to church. She's looking for her next meal ticket. Honeymoons. Ah yes, the perfect romantic getaway. Unless you're Robyn, in which case, you get an 11-day vacation in sunny San Diego. And of course, Kody loves to remind us all that every wife had a honeymoon, as if they all got the same VIP treatment. Like, sure, Robyn's was totally the same as Meri's or Christine's, right? I was listening to Melanie and Corey on notes to cell 444, and Corey dropped a detail that I'd somehow missed before. He mentioned, and I really hope I heard him correctly, that when Kody married Meri, and then Christine, their honeymoons took place at Corey's house. Apparently, Kody and his new wives stayed there to, observe how polygamist families lived. So let me get this straight. Kody and his wives honeymooned by crashing at a friend's place to learn about polygamy. Meanwhile, Robyn gets a full-blown 11-day honeymoon in San Diego. Yeah, that sounds totally equal in the honeymoon department, right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.